I will say I'm not. When they first revealed the extreme Orgiamo thing, I wasn't really that fond of it because honestly, I didn't really think Igus needed it, like as a character. Like, because it felt like it was just pushing her back to what she was before, which was just merely a robot. But I'll probably get that into that in more detail when we get to Persona 3 Reloaded. Anyway, Mitsuru's Anguish. In order to search for the Inaba Persona users, Mitsuru and I searched the school building for an exit out of the tower. But the interior of the building has been warped into a complex maze. I don't think we'll get out that easily.
I'm detecting a set of stairs just up ahead. Would you please try going down a floor?
Got it. Let us know if anything else comes up.
This maze is rather troublesome. We must hurry on.
Mitsuru mutters to herself as she and Fuka end up conversing, and her voice sounds tenser than usual. It looks like something's on her mind, so I decide to talk to her.
Are you still upset at how you and his friends got caught up in this?
I am, but what truly bothers me is how I cannot get a full grasp on the Sho Minazuki character, who has been behind everything.
Are we sure he's a Persona user? When he fought against Labras, he didn't use a Persona.
In addition to that, the one who called himself the person behind Labras' disappearance said that he had no persona. Granted, that could have been an act to confuse us, but that still seems like a very unclear way of doing things. It's hard to believe that he'd said what he'd said was just an act.
When I spoke directly with Minazuki, I saw his persona myself. This matches with what Narukami and his friends attested.
Could he have an accomplice?
An accomplice? Akihiko, this is only a hypothesis, but what if there were two Minazukis to begin with?
Two? You mean the one who called himself Sho and the one who called himself Minazuki are two different people?
No. His personalities changed before our very eyes. There's no doubt that they're the same body. But what if this isn't a case of multiple identity disorder? What if the two truly are completely separate personalities existing in the same body?
Completely separate? What do you mean?
Mitsuru-senpai! I'm detecting a shadow just up ahead of you!
We immediately end our discussion when Fuka's voice reaches us. There's only one door ahead of us. At the end of the hallway, I don't see a way around whatever's in our path.
Too much trouble to try to head back. Let's break through here, Mitsuru.
It seems there's no other way. The situation is growing more and more dire by the moment. We must deal with this as quickly as possible.
We rush to the door and charge inside. On the other side is a normal classroom. Well, normal if you ignore the bizarre decorations all over, with a blackboard, lectern, and rows of desks. The ace detective of Inaba is waiting for us here.
It's been a while. You two seem to have made it out of your predicament. How does it feel to have been rounded up like that?
This Naoto is a fake. There's no reason to doubt it. But it's well made. It would be hard to tell the difference unless you had shadow detecting abilities like Fuka. If the enemy's goal wasn't to carve off pieces of our persona in battle, these accurate doubles could easily have been used as weapons against us.
Enough idle conversation. Let's get this over with. We don't have a lot of time.
Wait, Akihiko.
As I get impatient to go into battle, Mitsuru's voice stops me. Ha, true. I guess we would listen to the fake's dying words. We may be able to gain some clues after all.
There's something I want you to tell me before I slay you.
What is it? You can ask, but it doesn't mean I'll answer.
Who created you fake people? Who is Minazuki?
That's an odd thing to ask. Didn't you meet him yourself only a few moments ago? You should ask him yourself. Then again, you won't be getting that chance as you'll never leave here.
We got her, right? Time for execution! Fake Naota might call her out on saying slay instead of kill. Damn you, ESRB! She normally uses the term execute. Which is also not cool because of content rating board.
Don't let this wind get to your head. Keep training.
That was enjoyable. Please sit back and enjoy the spectacle of extinction. Well then.
With an irritated jeer, the fake Naoto begins to crumble. The red pillar disappear as well, and a set of stairs leading downwards appear inside the classroom.
Mitsuru-senpai! Akihiko-senpai! Are you alright?
Yeah, no problems on our end. The shadow disappeared before we could get any information out of it, though.
We can't waste any time. Let's keep moving while we talk.
Okay, please head down those stairs then. That should get you out of the tower.
We follow Fuka's directions and head for the exit. Along the way, I decide to pick up our discussion on Sho's true character.
Mitsuru, back to what we were talking about earlier. It looked like Sho changed right in front of us. He switched personalities. What makes you think that it's not the ordinary form of split personality?
Do you recall the conversation in the limo about Ikutsuki's personal experiments? I said there was an indication that a plume of dusk was used.
You mean the human experimentation we were talking about? It's definitely something a guy like Ikutsuki would have come up with.
What if Ikutsuki's experiments on Minazuki involved transplanting a plume of dusk into a living person?
What? Why would he do something like that?
Considering that it could have been part of Ergo Research's attempts to create artificial persona users, it makes sense. It's most likely that Ikutsuki implanted a plume of dusk into Minazuki in order to intentionally try to force a persona to appear. But Sho Minazuki didn't awaken to the persona ability. That much can be gathered from the fact that Ikutsuki labeled the experiment a failure.
That bastard performed terrible experiments on young children, all for his own gain, and he called this a failure? Ikutsuki put something strange inside a living person and simply wrote it off what he did as a failure. That only proves how insane he'd been.
Contrary to Ikutsuki's expectations, though, the experiment had a different result.
What? Don't tell me.
If a plume of dusk was implanted into the body of a person who already had a personality, what would happen?
A plume of dusk stimulates the creation of an ego. So it's not out of the question that it would create a new personality in the same body.
In other words, it wasn't split personalities in Sho's mind, but two completely different entities in the same body. The original show and the personality that was created when the Plume of Dusk was put inside him now calls itself Minazaki, and maybe it's the second personality that has the ability to use a persona.
According to the records, after the operation, Minazuki entered a vegetative state after some time. Thus, Ikutsuki let go of Minazuki. He was then transported to a hospital in the suburbs of Inaba, and there are no records of Minazuki from there on. What happened from that point on, I can only speculate. But I wonder what sort of life Minazuki led after he regained consciousness.
Mitsuru's expression softens. Even if Minazuki was created by Ikutsuki, this is just one last way that Ikutsuki's ghost still haunts us. Ikutsuki's research only followed similar experiments created by the Kirijo group. If Sho's past is as Mitsuru described, then he is yet another victim of the Kirijo group, not just an enemy to be defeated. Not long after we pass through the main entranceway, we see a path leading to the school's main gates, which are painted in a strange pattern. Beyond that, nothing but red fog. There's no telling what state the town is in right now.
Labra said that she wanted to speak with Minazuki, and now, so do I.
We'd better rescue Yukiko's group and get back here then.
Indeed. Let us accomplish our duties with haste.
There's no point in denying that Kirijo is partly responsible for this series of cases. That truth won't change, and it's obvious that this is weighing heavily on Mitsuru's shoulders, since she is the head of the Kirijo group now. Let us accomplish our duties with haste. Yep, that's how I talk. Yeah, that's pretty much that's the type of language these two get to using sometimes. Especially Mitsuru, because she comes from like a very prim and proper household. That's why I believe I truly understand how Mitsuru felt when she made the choice to step back from the front lines earlier. She put trust in her comrades. That's how it should be. We can count on our teammates to get the job done.
What's Yukiko's position?
Plus, this group is also part of an active unit, so it's not that out of the it's not that out of the it's not that out of the realm of reality that they would talk to each other like that, like this, like just keeping just like keeping things professional, you know.
I sense something southeast of there. Please be careful.
As Fuka's communication cuts out, the school building behind us makes a groaning sound. It's so loud now. I get the feeling that there isn't a lot of time left. Mitsuru and I nod to each other before we begin running towards town. By the way, to give an example of how battle-hardened these guys are, Akihiko showed he was capable of dodging a bullet in the first story. I am not kidding. He actively dodged a bullet. Suwarudo of me, Dio. He actually didn't use any abilities like that. See, Akihiko might look like a meathead, but he's actually pretty smart. because there's only one way a bullet can go when it's been fired. He could easily tell where the bullet was going to go just from how the gun was pointed. So all he needed was the beat of. Was to be able to predict when the trigger is pulled, and then the rest is easy. At least that was the theory. I don't know if that actually works. I mean, I don't think anyone's tried. But it looks like we're going to be thrust into one single storyline, into one single route from here. So I am just going to continue with this line. Oh god, this song! I love this track! We run at top speed through the fog enveloping the town of Inaba. Not a single soul can be found outside. The sight reminds me of nothing more than the dark hour. Akihiko must feel the same way as he runs behind me.
Mitsuru, how are Igus and Teddy doing? They must have gotten out into the town by now.
Teddy.
You're right. Let me search for them.
I concentrate and search the area for any readings. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, personas come in basically two types: combat focused and support focused. Mitsuru is a bit of an odd bird because while it's mostly focused on combat, it does have the ability to provide support. So she can do things that like Fuka and Rise can do, but on a much lesser level. My search ability only has a limited range. To make matters worse, the image that appears in my mind have severe interference, and it's likely caused by this strange fog. The fog seems to be symbolic of Monozuki's solitude, as if trying to sever our connections to one another.
I found them in the town shopping district. We'll be able to catch up with them quickly.
All right, let's hurry to join up with them. Then we can compare notes.
Fortunately, Igus and Teddy appear to be very close by. We hurry toward the reading in an effort to meet up with the others.
Ow! My back still hurts. Getting old sucks.
What do you mean, getting old? You're probably the youngest person here in this group aside from Koromaru.
Do you age, Teddy?
Oh, by the way, there's something I've been meaning to ask you, Ai-chan. Is there anyone you like?
Stop.
What do you mean?
Come on, you can't fool me. If you don't have anyone, then you and me should...
Igus, Teddy.
Michan! Aki!
Akihiko-san, Mitsuru-san, thank goodness you're both safe.
Whoa, what happened? You're both beaten.
I was careless. We were ambushed by an enemy and suffered severe damage.
Though they're acting brave, it's obvious at a glance that both Teddy and Iga have been severely injured. It's clear that they won't be able to fight properly for a while.
Is someone... Please respond...
Rise-chan! I hear you! Talk to your lover bear!
God damn it, Teddy!
Is that you, Kujikawa? We can hear you.
That voice! Mitsuru-san? Thank goodness! I heard you were captured!
Yes, but we're fine now. I'm sorry to have worried you. Where are you right now?
Yukiko-senpai and I went out to look for Kanji and the others, but the town's turned into a maze. I lost track of them while we were getting our bearings. We're thinking about heading back to Junes right now.
All right, keep going to Junes. We'll head over too, so we'll meet you there. Tatsumi and Shirogane should have arrived already.
Understood. Please be careful.
Alright, now that that's decided, we need to hurry. Igus, Teddy, can you go on?
Leave it to me to guide you to Junes. I'll use my nose and...
Teddy appears to have sensed something. He turns to look at the shape that had appeared further down in the shopping district. After all that's happened, do they still intend to make us fight? No, from here on, they're doing this just to buy time. The shape ahead draws closer, and I see it's a double of Satanaka. My god, he sensed an allergen. There's no need to wonder about whether this is the real one or not.
You left everyone else inside and ran away? What happened to all that fun stuff? Oh, maybe they just don't need you anymore. I guess you're the runs of the litter.
Oh, you poor fool.
A fake Chie-chan! Bears have packs, not litters, and we're not runts!
I mean, we have one run here. Sorry, Teddy, it's the truth.
It's fine, Teddy. Let it say whatever it wants.
I stop Teddy as he tries to lash out in response to the fake Satanaka's harsh words. It's true that we made a mistake being captured by the enemy before this started, but still.
I've made some errors this time, but we have our comrades. Even if one of us was to fall, the rest of us can complement each other.
It's fine, Teddy. Allow the abuse to continue.
My standing here right now is a result of the trust we have for one another. I will carry out my duty, and you will be stopped.
With my thoughts on my comrades who left for the top of the tower at the forefront of my mind, I grab hold of the hilt of my rapier. No matter what taunts these shadows have for me, my heart will not be shaken. My comrades have my back. All I have to do is keep proceeding onward.
No. We will protect this world. We will not lose to the likes of you.
We're the most powerful lineup ever! We'll prove that we've got the upper claw here!
The two of them are so hurt that I'm surprised that they can even move, but the fire in their eyes is stronger than ever. I sense their will to fight shining through. Such admirable resolve. We will take on this burden in their stead. Next to me, Akihiko slams his fist into the palm of his other hand and steps in front of Igus and Teddy.
I was hoping for a chance to fight about now. I felt myself getting rusty. The rest of you can sit back and watch.
This tournament is foolish, but I was given one of your insipid names. It's time I showed you the power of the Execution Queen.
Got it right. Empress versus Chariot. Let's go.
Finally! Fight!
Keep it up!
The time is now, behold! No escape! I won't hold back! No! Go!
Don't let this wind get to your head. Keep
I'll admit I did put some practice in with Mitsuru. It was like years ago, but still. We don't even turn back to look at the melting shadow anymore. We rely on Teddy's nose and run with all our speed through the red fog towards Junes. We eventually see the large store that has been that I had last been in when we exited the TV world. This building must normally be quite lively with customers, but now it looms with an eerie silence within the dim red fog.
Rendezvous point is on this building's rooftop. Everyone remain in contact while searching for Kujikawa and the rest. Stay alert.
Whatever looks like a shadow, kick its ass.
Every day's great at your cuteness. Hello?
A monitor on the side of the road flickers, and General Teddy suddenly appears on the screen.
What the? You again, you phony bear! What do you want now?
Wow, just full Monokuma now.
Thanks for coming all the way out to such a remote place. Did you enjoy the P1 climax? There were so many touching battles this time. But, too bad for you. Unfortunately, you've all served your purposes already.
What do you mean by that?
Just what I said. When you fought, you released fragments of your personas. And I've gathered more than enough of them. Thus, there's no reason to keep you persona users alive any longer. Prepare to be swallowed by a surge of shadows.
That's a lot of shadows that are gonna die. Once General Teddy finishes, the monitor shuts off. Silence fills the area once again.
What is the shaking?
With a thundering roar, a vicious black liquid geysers up from everywhere. This black wave surrounds us, swirling madly, and begins to close in.
What the?
There are so many shadows. They're going to attack. Please, be careful.
Cheeky bastards. Come! Persona!
Akihiko's persona, Caesar, swings its sword towards the approaching black wave. The massive shadow retreats for a moment, like a receding tide, then immediately surges towards us like a tidal wave.
Artemisia!
Persona!
Initiating summon sequence. Athena.
We summon our personas one after another, and have no choice but to fight back. If things are this bad out here, I have to worry about Kujikawa and the others who are inside. We must get inside as soon as possible and meet up with them. But the horde of shadows pours forth without stopping, giving us no respite. Even the entrance to Jeunesse has been completely covered with the black mass. If it becomes a drawn-out battle, then obviously we'll be at a disadvantage. I feel a sense of listlessness. After being on that cross, I'm severely exhausted. Even Iga and Akihiko are moving less nimbly than usual. Teddy fights on as if trying to protect the three of us, but he's injured as well. He won't last forever.
If this keeps up.
Rise-chan, Yuki-chan, Nao-chan, I'll be right there.
More shadows incoming. They're not stopping.
Where was he hiding this many shadows?
My vision begins to darken, as if layers of gauze have been wrapped around my eyes. I feel more tired than ever. Though each shadow may be inconsequential on its own, their sheer numbers are too much to contend with. My arms drop to my side, and I can't lift them. And I can't lift them anymore.
Mitsuru! Hey, hang in there!
Nichan! Watch out!
Mitsuru-san!
Come on, can't you pull it together? I really don't want to get involved here, you know?
What the? As the sound echoes out, my vision returns, and I see a shape moving towards us, mowing down the horde of shadows. Was that just a persona attack? The shadows that have been overwhelming us retreat, and a path opens up towards the Jeunesse entrance.
Oh man, you guys look terrible. That's what you get for sticking your noses into places they don't belong.
Didn't you just do that? The newcomer is a man who speaks languidly while scratching at the back of his neck. That persona attack must have come from him. The local Jeunesse hero. He ain't no hero. He looks familiar. The serial murder case that took place in Inaba last year. I tried to remember the name of the former detective who had been arrested as a
Are
suspect.
you Toru Adachi?
What? I thought Adachi was in police custody.
Wow, I'm famous now. You're Mitsuru Kirijo, right? I guess the rest of these people are your subordinates?
What's Adachi baby doing here? Wait, you must be a fake too.
Adachi, baby.
You too? A fake? Yeah, that's it. I'm a fake.
Yeah, no, not buying it. Everything about his response radiates its insincerity. He seems to be an intelligent but shrewd man. But for right now, it doesn't matter if this man is a fake or not. What matters is why such a person would go out of his way to help us.
Why did you save us?
It wasn't just for you. If you died here, it'd be trouble for me. I have to obey the rules.
Rules?
Never mind, I'm just rambling. Still, isn't this an impressive number of shadows? I bet you'd really be able to get up to something fun with this many.
Good God.
Like, say summoning up a god or something?
Summoning a god? Is that what that show guy is doing?
So this horde of shadows seems to have been gathered here by the other Minazuki. After all, he is intending to use them to awaken a godlike being. What he called his world, there's one where that being has descended, but that will result in the fall, utter destruction.
I'm just guessing. And if this many shadows were to head over to that tower and start wrecking shit, that building wouldn't stand a chance, would it?
He really likes beating around the bush with his information, doesn't he?
Plus, anyone inside would be in for some real trouble, wouldn't they? Well, it's not like it matters to me. I'm gonna be on my way now. Good luck or whatever.
Oh, that's the wrong term of use. Beating around the bushes is trying to be enigmatic, I believe. He's like being blunt, but trying not to sound like he's being blunt.
Aren't the rest of your friends in here at Jeunesse? You kids love crowding together after all. Don't you think you'll win with those numbers?
Hey, stop! Where do you think you're going?
Don't, Teddy. I know you want to go after him, but we're all exhausted right now. We need to prioritize meeting up with your friends.
Torudachi doesn't even look back at Teddy and begins walking at a leisurely pace in the direction of Yasugami High. We quickly lose sight of him, and he becomes lost in the muddy stream of shadows.
Toru Adachi. At the very least, he didn't seem to be a fake made from a shadow.
Is he scheming something after all?
No matter what his aims were, it's true that we were saved in the end.
Save thinking about it for later. We need to hurry.
We run along the path to Jeunesse entrance, instead of being created for us by Adachi's strike, and rush into the store and up the stairs. The gushing shadows had entered the building as well, but we are far from fewer in number but they are far in fewer number than they had been outside, and aren't much of a hindrance. Eventually, the stairs end, and we see the door that opens on the top of the food court. In the food court beyond, a horde of shadows had regained its intensity and continued flooding in, one after another. 4 Persona users from Inaba are fighting them, even though they are experienced, fierce fighters and had survived many tough situations. It seems they are having a hard fight against the sheer volume of these shadows.
Damn it! You're getting more intense again. There's no end to this.
You can't give up. Mitsuru-san and her people should arrive soon.
Right. We can't lose somewhere like this.
Rise-chan, now-chan, Yuki-chan! I'm so glad you're all okay! I'm coming over right now!
Oh, Teddy! And Mitsuru-san, too!
Teddy should have been considerably exhausted and injured, but seeing the faces of his friends must have given him strength. He darts toward his friends as fast as his little legs can carry him and joins their battle line. They are united by a strong bond as well. We can't fall behind either.
Hey! You intentionally left me out, didn't you?
I was going to point that out, actually.
You're loud as always. You still have a lot of energy left. You don't go down easy, but I see you're barely hanging on.
God damn it, Teddy.
Don't underestimate me. Half your stuffing's hanging out anyway, so you don't get to say anything.
Sorry we're late. You did well in keeping him at bay. We'll join in the fight.
With a sense of relief at seeing everyone we had been unable to locate, we quickly tell them of our situation and check on their conditions. It's clear that all of them are tired and injured, but now that our numbers have doubled, we should be able to make up for that by cooperating with each other. As it turns out, we are slowly but surely able to push back the seemingly endless torrent of shadows.
We can do this! There's enough of us here now that I'm sure we can win!
It's too early to be relieved yet. The shadows all over town are converging on that tower. At this rate, our senpai in there will be...
Shirogane is right. If we are held up here, we won't be able to aid those who have headed up the tower. If the shadows are gathering with the intent to climb the tower, then we have to take the chance to return the tower to the tower ourselves to intercept them.
But considering the sheer number of shadows, that would be too dangerous.
Mitsuru-san, Ken-kun has given me the details. This case has many similarities with Shuji Yakutsuki's plan. I believe the culprit has the same intent. And considering the current situation with these hordes of shadows, the time is nigh.
Shomin Azuki called Shuji Yakutsuki his father, and then there's also what Tomodachi mentioned. There's certainly enough circumstantial evidence. And this time, Naota speaks of, it's nothing less than the end of the world.
Do we have no choice but to entrust this to the others here? Isn't there something we can do, Mitsuru-san?
It'll be fine.
This isn't the time to argue, Mitsuru-san. We have to go.
What's there to worry about, Mitsuru? There's only one option here.
Everyone wants to return to the tower, completely disregarding their own safety. Not a single one of us is afraid to volunteer, even in this desperate situation. In addition, they've been forestalling again and again since this started. It seems my position as the leader of the Shadow Operatives has put me on the defensive without my noticing it. We have to go on the offensive now, and we have the strength to do so.
Everyone, listen up. The shadows are likely gathering at that tower. Their goal is likely to bring about the coming of a god with the power to destroy the world. We must stop this at all costs. Kujikawa, will you lend me your strength? We'll combine our communication abilities to contact Yamagishi. They need to be told of the danger.
The first step is to make contact. I task the other 6 with making sure that the area is secured and take Kujikawa's hand. Man, but he stopped becoming of a god like 2 weeks ago. Maybe even just last week. Yeah, pretty much the end of the world is like a year. Is like an annual event in the Persona universe. And I say yearly because it always takes a year to happen. We both feel a similar tension, distinct from what we feel in battle, as we focus our thoughts and concentrate on the tower. Though the situation is truly chaotic, the end of the world is drawing near, and the vision that appears in my mind is surprisingly clear. To think that Kujikawa's communication ability is this powerful, it's equal to Yamagishi's. I've also been told that it's evolved to the point where she can participate in combat now. These Persona users of Inaba have great potential hidden within them. That's right, we have the obligation to protect this town, their future.
Fukusan is somewhere around the middle of the tower?
Hold on, Kujikawa. There's something in the sky.
There's a reading of something approaching at the high speed from the fog-filled sky. Eventually, the rhythmic sound of a very loud helicopter reaches our ears. A large helicopter with Karijo group markings approach us out on the fog. Out of the fog. The pilot must be...
That's you there, isn't it, Kikuno? Respond at once.
I'm calling it again! Spin-off game featuring Kikuno! It must happen!
Lady Mitsuru! Thank goodness you're safe.
What are you doing there? This airspace is dangerous. You must withdraw at once to a safer area.
You're all putting your lives at stake by fighting. I refuse to shame myself by withdrawing.
I can only smile at the way Kikuno refuses my direct order, even though I'm currently glowering. She won't hesitate to risk her life for my sake. That's never changed at all.
Something I must tell you at once. We've decoded more of the records from Shuji Ikutsuki that I gave to Labrasan. We've reached a point where there is a description that seems to be hinting at the security code. If we can solve it, we may be able to fully unlock it. The clues to the password are my true form that I should take, and the one written of in the prophecy.
Kinda busy right now.
Prophecy and true form? Could this be about what happened back then?
Mitsuru, I have to remember. That insanity Ikutsuki was a slave to. Remember the speech he gave us?
I could never forget that night 3 years ago. The night where the night we were cast into the depths of despair. Ikutsuki looked down on us with insanity in his eyes and told us his own ambitions.
He said he would become a king in the new world. With that in mind, what he strived to become, his self-professed true form.
The new world that Shuji Ikutsuki strove for. A world where everyone beside himself had been changed into a shadow. What did he believe his true form would be? There's no mistake. Those words symbolized the distorted ambitions Ikutsuki had become obsessed with, and what he truly believed he would become.
That's it! The password was accepted, and the file's been unlocked.
There's no time to wait for an analysis. Kujikawa, let's try again. We need to get this information to Labras through Yamagishi.
Opening the file now. We direct our search in the direction of the tower once more and detect Yamagishi. Near her are a number of other readings that appear to be in combat. They are Narukami, Satonaka, and Hanamura. It seems they are fighting valiantly to protect Yamagishi. Though they have been injured, I sigh in relief, sensing that they have made a recovery. We immediately open communications with Yamagishi and relay our situations. According to Yamagishi, the sudden swarm of shadows in town have been pouring into the tower as well. We then pass on our own conclusions. The reason for the horde of shadows and our information on the password. Even Yamagishi seems lost for words at hearing this, but she quickly recovers herself.
So that's why all these shadows have been flooding in. We'll stop them here as well. I'll tell Lapras about that password at once. Please be careful, Mitsuru-senpai.
Everyone looks towards me when the communication ends. They're waiting for a word from me with such impatience. But don't worry, I understand.
We will now head to the tower to aid those who are still in there. We'll have to force our way in. We will combine the strength of our personas and fight our way through.
As they say, that's what I'm talking about.
I love Argus.
This is starting to get interesting. I'm getting pumped up.
All right. If that's the plan, then it's time to bust out all our skills. Better not fall behind, Ted.
Roar! I'm getting fired up! Wait for us, Sensei! Wait for me, Labby-chan! There's no need to fear with my tremendous strength!
Good Lord, Teddy.
Right. Lapras and Chie are fighting too, so I can't just stay here.
The moment we were about to step towards the tower, I noticed a black silhouette of a vehicle lowering its altitude, close enough to graze the horde of shadows.
You need to leave Inaba and stand by until we contact you again.
No, my lady. This helicopter is loaded with two 7.62mm Gatling guns, 19 continuous rounds of 70mm rocket ammunition, as well as a 30mm chain gun.
Again, I want her backstory.
Though these cannot damage shadows, they will be useful in preventing their advancement and providing you with some measure of backup.
Don't be ridiculous. It's too dangerous. You're...
Lapras-san asked me why someone who couldn't use a persona would risk their life to go to a place where shadows appear. No matter how slight it may be, I can still provide some assistance to you all. I have been prepared to risk my life from the start. My lady, I have my own battles to fight.
Hikuno-san.
Mitsuru, you're gonna repeat the same mistake.
You're right. It doesn't matter how strong or weak you are. I've pushed Narukami and his friends away before, and now I'm doing the same to Kikuno. Kikuno, I accept your determination. Aid us from the helicopter. We must reach that tower at all costs.
Understood. I will see you there safely, even if it costs me my life. Let us depart.
Hikuno's helicopter rotates in place to face the direction where we will be proceeding in. With a tremendous concussion, a rain of bullets showers down the mass of shadows, splashing bits of blackness every which way. The wave that had been completely covered. That had been completely covering the road loses its intensity and begins to retreat.
Now!
Right.
All right.
Come! Persona!
Go! Persona!
Here goes!
A line of sparkling lights runs into the waves of shadows, accompanied by a roaring sound. We can do this. We nod to each other and leap, one after another, into the newly opened path. We must head to the tower, where our comrades are fighting, so that I can so that we can all carry out our duties. Okay, I think next week we'll be able to, and I imagine everyone from me just looks at Mitsuru and she's just like, "What? Don't you have maids that are trained to use military helicopters?" Yeah, that's kind of something I would that I would imagine and Mitsuru would say, and at least in her younger days. Yeah, that's some Black Lagoon shit. It actually is, isn't it? But yeah, looks like we'll be able to finish the P3 story maybe next week. But it's rather close, so we'll be that will have to wait till next week.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimate.
All right, there we go. Ooh, so we did quite a bit there, and we actually finished on a proper bookmark this time. But yeah, looks like things are coming to a head with the P3 story, and we should be able to bring it to a close next week, and maybe even do a Dachi story. So let us get things set up for a raid. We can raid Velvet Puppy, but let's see if some of my regular choices are up. Nope, Velvet Puppy it is then. All right then. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you like my stuff and you haven't already, please leave a follow. It helps me as a small VTuber. And you can also check my socials over there. And I upload all my stuff on YouTube. So tomorrow we will not tomorrow. Next week we'll continue with Celeste and start P3 Reloaded, as well as possibly finish the P3 story in this game, and maybe even do the Adachi story. Yeah, but and I'm looking forward to doing that. But yeah, as Lotus Prince said, we will be entering a new year. So happy New Year to you all, and I will see you all in the new year. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all in the next time. This is Metis Balaska signing out.